Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor. I hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas tide as we all prepare for the new year and the coming golden age with the inauguration of the one and only Donald J. Trump. But we do need to talk about this supposed civil war that's erupted inside MAGA over H1B visas, because I think a lot of people, most especially the dying legacy media, are missing the truth here of what's really going on with all of this. Now, the context for what's going on here is that shortly before Christmas, several MAGA X accounts, most particularly Laura Loomer, began raging against the announcement that venture capitalist Sriram Krishnan was picked to serve as the incoming Trump administration's senior policy advisor for artificial intelligence. Now, the controversy comes from Krishnan's past vocal support for raising country caps on green cards. And I think this is an important detail, but he's not specifically commented on H1B visas, despite incorrect social media claims to the contrary. Now, regardless, Laura Loomer flipped out and just started lobbing all these rhetorical bombs, basically accusing Musk, who's a friend of Krishnan's, of sabotaging and selling out the MAGA movement for his own financial benefit, which includes importing cheap labor from abroad. In response, Vivek Ramaswamy tweeted out what many consider to be a rather ill-timed, mean-spirited critique of American culture and most particularly American families. He tweeted out, quote, "Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s and likely longer. That doesn't start in college, it starts young. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers." And while there may be some truth, some hard truth, as he put it, to what Vivek said there, to be fair to him, that said, he clearly didn't do himself any favors by how he said it. And the online backlash against Vivek was massive, to say the least. And the backlash signaled nothing less than a very significant rift that opened up between the MAGA base over the H1B visa system. Now, ideally, the H1B visa system allows highly skilled foreign workers into the country if companies show that they cannot find American talent to fill the roles. Elon eventually chimed in and defended H1B visas and called out Laura Loomer as a troll. She was trolling for attention and she ought to be ignored and dismissed. And he even went so far as to tell all the detractors against H1B visas to go F themselves in the face, warning, quote, "I will go to war over this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." Well, if a war is what Elon wanted, a war is exactly what he got, particularly from the likes of War Room host Steve Bannon, who accused Musk of showing his true colors and abandoning the MAGA movement that is, after all, America first. And Bannon and others detailed how the H1B visa program was really nothing more than a billionaire scam to import cheap labor rather than hire American. And as if all that weren't bad enough, the ultra-leftists over at MSNBC couldn't contain their glee over this fight breaking out among the MAGA faithful.
America is a land of the free, home of the brave, all that good stuff that Elon Musk was tweeting about. However, please don't come for Americans. And I would like, let's be very clear, I would like white Americans to stand up. This is your calling card, honey. Where's your banner? Because they coming for you. They said y'all white and lazy. That's crazy.
Well,
that's crazy.
What I
and
find
if
is
I said
interesting.
It, y'all would be coming for me.
Well,
I would never say that because that's insane.
That's the point. What you have happening here is the very thing that white folks have said about black people.
I'm sorry. I just want to know, Vivek was born in the U.S.
For generations. Vivek is now saying about white people, and they don't like it for some reason. Oh, y'all not lazy. Y'all not slow. Y'all not stupid. Well, that's what we've been saying for 400 years, and yet here we are. You still want to not read our history or our go through our CRTs and all
This
this
is
stuff.
why the great Reverend Jesse Jackson talked about the Rainbow Coalition, honey, and people were uniting across
That's
the
right.
working class, okay? And black people and white folks and Latino folks coming together, because the rich people, they're not here for you, and this is how they letting you know, okay? They just let you know. So you want to come on over to Rainbow Coalition, you come join us, right?
Gang, if you're one of the 100 million Americans struggling with all the weight gain and loss of energy that comes with a fatty liver, we've got an amazing supplement for you. Liver Health Formula is an all-natural supplement. It contains 12 clinically proven botanicals that help recharge and protect your liver. It's manufactured right here in the USA, and it's approved by independent American doctors. And if you click on that link below right now, you could try Liver Health Formula and receive a free bottle of blood sugar formula when you order today. So don't let a fatty liver keep you sluggish and inactive. Many of you know, this is personal for me. I recently lost over 60 pounds. I could say it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And guess what? Now it's your turn. Click on that link below or go to getliverhelp.com/Turley and claim your free bonus gift. That's getliverhelp.com/Turley. So there you have yet another silly little farce over at MSNBC, a dying so-called news network that Comcast executives are doing everything they possibly can to sell off because they're so pitifully embarrassing. Now, here are the facts in all of this. Bottom line, number one, President Trump has always been in favor of legal immigration. There's no way around that. Trump is not siding with Elon Musk in all of that, and all of this, as he's been portrayed in the media of doing. He has not changed his position. Trump has always been pro H1B visa. It's one of the things that used to cause Ann Coulter to flip out over him back in the first term. She hated H1B visas. So Trump has repeatedly said that he's used H-1B visas for his own hiring, for his own employees throughout Trump enterprises. His concern is entirely illegal immigration, which he's going to shut down completely on day one of his administration. Again, this is so key to understanding the heart of MAGA. MAGA is about shutting down illegal immigration, not necessarily legal immigration. MAGA wants to attract the best and brightest from everywhere, starting here in the United States, America first, and then beyond, which is precisely what H-1B is supposed to be. Prioritize Americans first, and then if you can't find the right workers, then you go beyond. This is where Vivek, his tweet was just... it just didn't read the room. He walked into the wrong bar, as Scott Jennings would say. We want the world's most talented and aspiring members to be a part of the new golden age happening right here. That said, secondly, it's absolutely clear that the H-1B visa system is in need of serious reform. Bottom line, it is broken, or better, corrupted, like everything else in D.C. According to a report by PJ Media, of the 85,000 international applicants to work in the U.S. each year, 84% come from two countries, India and China. 72% from India, 12% from China. So while the visa program is intended to bring in top global talent, in many ways, it's turning out to be little more than a pathetic scheme that allows billionaires and corporations to hire foreign workers at a fraction of the cost of hiring American workers who are just as competent to do the job. And that's the key to understanding the heart of this debate. Both sides can be equally true. The intent of the visa program can be good, all the while its practice can be bad. And that's what Trump actually did in his first term. He resolved that paradox or that contradiction in that he utilized H-1B in its intended form rather than its exploited form, which Biden quickly undid, re-exploiting it, as it were. And that, after all of this online debate, that is precisely where Elon ended up. This is exactly what Elon admitted. Take a look at this headline from the New York Post yesterday. Elon Musk changes his tune on H-1B visas as he tries to cool, we might say quell, raging MAGA civil war over skilled immigration. And he tweeted out, this is the tweet they pointed to after all of the going back and forth and the FU and all this sort of stuff. Here's what Elon finally admitted. The H1B program is easily fixed by raising the minimum salary significantly and adding a yearly cost for maintaining the H1B, making it materially more expensive to hire from overseas than domestically. Sounds like tariffs. I've been very clear that the program is broken and needs major reform. And so that's Elon's and Trump's solution to the problem. If you want to hire overseas, fine, but it's going to be expensive. It's going to cost you. You cannot use it as some scheme to lower your costs at the expense of American workers. And so this massive online debate ended up resolving itself just as quickly as it sparked. Here's Scott Jennings on CNN.
Look, there's always been a push and pull on this in the Republican Party, and I think there's a way to work this out and solve it. I mean, I think what a lot of people would say is, and Elon Musk was making this point, if you take like the top 1% or the top 0.1% of the most talented engineering people from other countries, that's perfectly fine. H-1B visas for that. They're unique. They have unique talent, unique innovative skills. Fine. If you're using the H-1B program to abuse it, to recruit, interns, accountants, other people that easily could be recruited from the United States of America, all because you just want to do it cheaper, that's not fine. So I think what a lot of people in the party want to do is eliminate the fraud in this H-1B program, retain the top engineering talent, and there's a way to do this. What Ramaswamy did yesterday was not a great communications exercise, and it did anger a lot of people in the president's coalition, and I think rightfully so.
Here's how the incoming crypto czar, David Sachs, put it. Quote, Elon has said that H-1B should be overhauled, that it should focus on exceptional talent in high-value areas, and that the scams and low-paying jobs should end. This is not to say there aren't still differences, but less than it first appeared. Time to move forward as one team. And Scott Adams added, quote, the foreign workers debate on X has been great. We fight. We learn something. We correct course. Trump watches and absorbs. And we did it by entertaining ourselves and getting smarter at the same time. It's called America's Golden Age. That, my friends, is precisely what we witnessed over these last several days. It's the very definition of what's called techno-populism. And it's something that the Jurassic dinosaurs in the dying legacy media simply have no conception of because they are being killed off by techno-populism. What we witnessed over the Christmas holiday is a passionate, informative, robust debate over a major issue that concerns the vast majority of the nation, right? The costs and benefits of legal immigration. Both sides of the issue took to social media, particularly the X platform, and debated and passionately deliberated. Literally hundreds of thousands of tweets fired off over these last several days. Social media influencers sounded off. Elon and Vivek sounded off. Trump weighed in. And in the end, concessions on both sides were made and a consensus was reached. And here's the key. Here's the glorious key in all of this. It all happened online, and it all happened while CNN and MSNBC and ABC and the New York Times all sat as insignificant spectators on the sidelines. The legacy media contributed literally nothing to any of this. Zippo nada. It's what we've talked about it before in the past on this channel, something known as agenda setting theory. So in the past, the legacy media has had inordinate influence over public opinion when it had a monopoly over information. Those days are gone. Gone. The legacy media over this last week was rendered totally and completely irrelevant. All they could do was just act as spectators. Oh, look, MAGA's having a civil war. Boy, they're getting a lot of done without us. Don't you think we should be down on that field with them? The entire issue surfaced, escalated, and resolved online, primarily on X, without so much as a whit of contribution from the legacy media. That, my friends, is what is called techno-populism, where internet technologies have largely emancipated populations from the old liberal structures like the mainstream media that used to dominate and inordinately influence public opinion, but no longer. We now, largely thanks to Elon, we now have an online public square that allows all voices to be heard and issues to be resolved. No spin, no narrative control from the legacy media. We are able to have all voices heard without so much as a shred of participation from the legacy media. This is the golden age, as Scott Adams put it. It is the governance of the future. The people now have a platform for their voice to be heard. And given the number of concessions that came from proponents of the visa program, heard, your voices were.